Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. The question on everybody's mind is the bottom in? We're going to take a look at everything Cardano, all the latest updates and news, and we're going to give you all the answers you're looking for. Let's go. So we're going to start here on coin market cap. The total market cap of crypto globally is finally not red and now green. It's up 2.13% at the time of recording, and it sits at $2.94 trillion, with Bitcoin now at 86,041.03, up 2.58% in the past 24 hours. But we're here to talk about Cardano. It's up let's go back to the 24 hours. It's up 3.0401. Let me start again. 3.01% in the past 24 hours. It's at 41 cent 07. And I've got a feeling the bottom is now in. We've got fear and greed index at 10. And I want to talk about the fear and greed index and give you a little bit of an eye-opening, bit of information. We're at 10. That's the lowest ever. And this is the longest we've been under 20 in history. And look, it takes me back to something I said in the free educational Discord with our community there about maybe 12 to 15 months ago, that I said that we're going to get to a point in the crypto market or markets in general where people are going to have to sell their crypto assets. They're not going to be able to keep the lights on, food on the table, keep their businesses running and all of that. And people said, Chris, you're crazy. And look, this is what I was, trying to articulate, a year and a half, possibly 2 years ago. And there will be people in our community that, will, obviously say, yeah, Chris, you did talk about that. Yes, we are there. And look, I've also gone on to say that I think this is going to be the biggest bull run in crypto history. This is a big shakeout, that's compounded by the cost of living. It's something we haven't seen before. I think the 4-year cycle is over. I think that, potentially it's now a 5-year cycle, and it might be the first 5-year cycle and the last 5-year cycle before there are, much longer cycles, right? We see this in property, we see this in other, different asset classes, but ultimately things are changing. And I think that you can see that on this chart here. Extreme fear, 10. We're still down there, and ultimately it feels like it's the start of a bear market, but I really don't think it is. I think it's manipulation, a lack of liquidity, and cost of living, meaning that retail investors aren't here. They are buying the dip. They are buying the dip, but it's not enough. There's more sellers than there are buyers. At least there has been. But I do think we're getting to the end of that. I really do. I think another, interest rate drop will have a big impact on markets, and that money is going to start to filter down. Donald Trump talking about 2,000 stimulus checks. I think this is all going to have a positive impact on risk assets. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm not a financial advisor. Treat what I say with a pinch of salt. Do your own research. Never invest more than you're willing to lose, because you do risk losing everything if you invest in cryptocurrency. Forget price predictions. Nothing's guaranteed in crypto. Do your own research. Never invest more than you're willing to lose. But let's get into the news here. Charles Hoskinson, is talking very proudly about Cardano networks, or Cardano's network design after surviving a poisoned transaction attack. And this was a very personal attack towards Charles Hoskinson. The attacker issues public apology, apparently. So, there's a lot to dig into, but the chain has recovered. Obviously, we run a stake pool, the Cheek pool here, Cheeky Crypto Stake Pool. Cheek, CHEEK. We'd love it if you delegate your ADA with us and earn ADA rewards for staking with us. We do obviously appreciate it. It does support the channel here. We've got 2 blocks so far this epoch. Obviously, with everything going on, we have updated our pool. That's one of the beautiful things about being so well connected with the team at Cardano. And I do have an interview with Charles Hoskinson about Cardano coming out very soon, and I've also got an interview with the president of Midnight as well. So lots to dig into very soon. But I'm really interested in this. Shortly after the incident, an ex-user going by the name Homer J admitted they were responsible for submitting the transaction that triggered the temporary split. Sorry, Cardano folks, it was me who endangered the network with my careless action yesterday evening. He opened describing the attempt as a personal challenge to reproduce the bad transaction and revealed he relied on AI generated instructions while blocking traffic on his server. He said, I felt awful as soon as I realized the scale of what I had caused. I know there's nothing I can do to make up for all the pain and stress I've caused over the past X hours. Homer continued, difficult to quantify the negligence on my behalf. I'm sorry, I truly am. I don't have evil intentions. Nevertheless, Charles Hoskinson is not buying the apology, claiming that the person that did this is now trying to apologize after learning the FBI is now involved. So really interesting stuff. And look, there's a lot of people that want to do harm in the crypto space. There's a lot of people that really dislike people that are successful, and it's a real shame. Like, I feel that I'm somewhat successful. Nick, myself, the team of here at Cheeky Crypto have built an immense community. We've got a channel with over 209,000 subscribers. We've got another two channels with almost 20,000 subscribers each. Over 400,000 unique followers every single month. I think even we feel the pressure and the negativity towards success. And it's not something personal, but we've recently seen people who sort of move across to watch others and support others that are basically, in essence, stealing from us. Like, there's no way around it, right? If you're taking our members because you worked with us previously, and you set up basically a carbon copy of what we've built here, and our community moves over with them. That is a form of theft. It does have an impact, and the people moving over really, they, in my humble opinion, at least, they are not really pro us, right? They loathe the success that we've got, at least in my eyes anyway. I'm trying to think these people don't know me personally, so it can't possibly be that they have a real distaste towards me as an individual. It must be because we've got success. But success isn't something that's given to you. It's not something you can just steal from others, and people that do this normally fail quite quickly. But look, Charles has done some phenomenal things, and it's the hard work that goes into all of the stuff that you're building. I don't think people realize that people like Charles, I mean, he did an AMA or a X live stream at 3 in the morning when he was in London, right? And the team did 30 hours to overcome this issue. And I think it is just people don't appreciate the time, the effort, the love that goes into a lot of the stuff. Nick and myself have spent almost 6 years building Cheeky Crypto, and Charles has spent even longer on Cardano. And I'm not trying to compare, us to Charles and Cardano by any stretch of the imagination. It's apples and pears, right? There's light years between the sizes of our operations, but I do think that there is a lot to be said for that stuff. Anyway, I'm chatting a load of crap, and it's not really what you're here for. You're here for Cardano, but Cardano price forecast, ADA risks declining to 30 cent as whales begin to sell. So we got Cardano whales holding 10 to 100 million tokens have distributed more than 370 million ADA over the past week. Cardano's open interest offers a glimmer of hope, rising 30% to 1.64 billion ADA in the past 7 days. And look, I do think that we are going to go through this bit of a U-turn. We are going to start to see the prices recover. I think the bottom's in for a lot of crypto projects in the crypto space. I think Bitcoin's bottom is in. I think ADA's is in. And I think that we're now going to start to see some price appreciation. Obviously, it's going to take some time. There's still going to be volatility, at least my opinion. Obviously, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. Never invest more than you're willing to lose, and speak to a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. But talking about investment decisions, this is what I believe is a massive opportunity. Unity, generate rewards by verifying the telecom grid from your mobile phone. With Unity, anyone can earn crypto rewards directly from their mobile phone by verifying the global telecom grid. Now, if you buy one of the Unity nodes, you get 200 licenses, you get some minutes network tokens, you get some World Mobile tokens. Now, World Mobile token has been added to Coinbase listing roadmap, so it might be listed on Coinbase very soon. These tokens are locked for 24 months. Now, if we scroll down, you could see the most important part, at least this is what people tell me. If you activate 200 licenses, you have the potential to earn up to 19,200 dollars per month. Obviously, this figure is not guaranteed. It depends on market performance, market conditions, network performance, market conditions, and operator activity. Definitely go check out the Unity website. I will link it in the description of the video. But let's move on. We've got Cardano recovers from chain split, AI code sparks debate. So this is the key facts. Obviously, I touched on this earlier with the fact that AI generated the code to cause all of this grief. Again, I think that when FBI and stuff are involved, we're going to see less and less of this as regulators and regulations become stronger. I think that we're going to start to see some really big improvements over time. We've got crypto pain peaks, Cardano, Ethereum, and Bitcoin show massive losses. Is it time to buy? Now, look, I think that it is, but that's my personal opinion. Obviously, not financial advice. Take what I say with a pinch of salt, and obviously nothing's guaranteed. But, at these prices, I mean, a year ago, you couldn't even buy at these prices. So I'm just going to put it out there that I think this is a really good opportunity to be dollar cost averaging into the crypto space, particularly if you've got a long-term mindset and you're not worried about holding assets. Let's say, like me, your mindset is more based on 2030. By the year 2030, I do think that we will have mainstream adoption. So look, I'm not really concerned by any of the price action right now. I'm only concerned about projects that don't have real world utility, projects that aren't going to go on to do really, really well, projects that aren't going to have spot ETFs. These are where the concerns lie for me. For me, projects that are on the cusp of getting a spot ETF over in the US, projects that have real businesses behind them, real world utility, these are going to be fine. And AI projects also, in my opinion, are going to do perfectly well. We got Cardano's Charles Hoskinson warns Trump era crypto boom was rib crushing hug. So again, I'm going to save a little bit of this because I do touch on this with Charles in our interview. So subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you enjoy the video, hit the like button. But make sure that you don't miss the interview that I do with Charles. I've tried to avoid asking the same sort of questions everyone else will be asking, right? Talking about midnight, talking about, the KPIs, talking about all the latest stuff. I really wanted to get quite personal with Charles. I wanted to talk about, things like what he feels, they could have done better, how they would rebuild Cardano if they were to, take all the lessons learned and start again today. It was a really interesting interview, and I do encourage everybody to hit that notification bell and watch the interview. It's one not to be missed, I've got to say. Cardano news update: ADA faces 30-cent battle as whales sell off. Again, just touching on this again, the network issue combined with turbulent conditions in the crypto market all playing a role in this. Look, I'm not concerned, not worried one little bit. I've been forecasting this crash. I've been forecasting the Fed's interest rate, plan and execution to an absolute T. The next part of the forecast is the biggest bull run in crypto history, and the weak will not survive. Only the strong will survive and, come out the other end really, really well. It's the people that have positioned for it. Listen to me a year and a half ago where I was saying things were going to get very, very tough, that are going to go on to do really well. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.